From Shakespeare to Dyson spheres, the actors of Star Trek The Next Generation have seen it all. Here's where they all ended up after the groundbreaking sci-fi series took its last flight. From theater to television and the big screen, Sir Patrick Stewart has done it all and won more awards than most. For Trekkies, he holds a special place in their hearts as Captain Jean-Luc Picard, a role he made famous in Star Trek The Next Generation, and continued to play on and off for over 35 years. Stewart endeared himself to comic lovers too as Professor X in the X-Men movies, and he's racked up a formidable list of other credits across all genres, from sitcoms to horrors to a few returns to Shakespeare.
Be or not a bee? That is the question.
Off-screen, Stewart released his memoir in late 2023. He's an avid car enthusiast and continues to follow the Huddersfield Town Football Club, which he supported for most of his life. He's also admitted to taking a keen interest in jigsaw puzzles. Speaking to AARP in December 2023 about what his plans for the future are, Stewart said, "One of my ambitions, should my work continue, is to do more comedy. Making people laugh gave me so much satisfaction, because I've been in productions where I've seen people sitting wiping their eyes, and I feel sorry for them." Jonathan Frakes will forever be known as William Riker, serving as the Enterprise D's first officer for 7 seasons and 4 movies before becoming a captain himself and showing up in other Trek series. His acting career never stalled after Star Trek, as he popped up in popular shows like Lois and Clark, Roswell, and Criminal Minds. He also provided the voice for David Xanatos in Gargoyles, an animated series that saw the appearance of many Star Trek stars. Even non-Trekkies might recognize him from 90s classics like Alien Autopsy and Beyond Belief.
Do you think this story is built upon truth? Or are you hearing the familiar voice of deception in your ear?
Frakes also worked behind the camera, directing films like Clockstoppers and 2 Star Trek movies, while also helming 8 episodes of Next Generation, 3 episodes of Star Trek Voyager, and many episodes of Discovery, Picard, and Strange New Worlds. He's also a part of a select group of Star Trek actors who are talented musicians.
You know, this is a much better way of communicating for you. It's far less confusing than the way you normally speak.
He played the trombone on a track for the rock band Fish, appropriately called Riker's Mailbox, and also gave directing classes at Maine's Rockport College. He's remained close to his Star Trek castmates, telling Edmonton Journal in September 2024, "Our cast is thick as thieves. We've been friends for 39 years and we've been in each other's lives." Even the worst episodes of Star Trek are redeemed by Brent Spiner's Data, an entertaining and endearing android who's appeared all over Star Trek media, becoming one of the most easily recognizable and beloved figures in all sci-fi history. While Spiner has returned to play Data and various members of his family on numerous occasions, he's also continued to flex his creative muscles outside of Star Trek. He dabbled in music, releasing albums in 1991 and 2010, and also made his way back to Broadway for a few shows. He's also appeared in blockbuster films like Independence Day and The Aviator, while guest starring in shows such as Warehouse 13 and Young Justice, in which he voices the Joker. In a 2002 interview with IGN, Spiner disclosed how he thought about quitting the role of Data at the end of every season of the hit show that spawned him, but he kept discovering there was more to uncover. It was about a character who was evolving and growing all the time, and experimenting with different facets of humanity, and playing other characters in order to understand that humanity. It felt limitless, finally. In 2021, Spiner released Fan Fiction, a memoir, a high-concept fictional autobiography that combined his real experiences filming Star Trek with a murder mystery. The audiobook edition brought in cameos from Next Generation's core cast. Marina Sirtis plays the Enterprise's counselor Deanna Troi across 7 seasons, 4 movies, 5 other Star Trek series, and even appears as a computer's voice in the fan series Star Trek Continues. Sirtis also ventured into tons of other movies and television shows over the years, from The Orville to Adventure Time. Arguably, Sirtis' most famous other role is in the animated series Gargoyles, where she voices Demona alongside many of her Star Trek co-stars. Sirtis' husband, musician Michael Lamper, died at the age of 61 in 2019. Sirtis' political affiliation is also no secret, and in 2021 she explained a big issue that she decided to move back to England because of the shift in the American political landscape, saying, "America changed so much in the 35 years that I was there. When I went, I literally thought I'd died and gone to heaven. It was brilliant, and then this right-wing fascist mentality started taking over." She also claimed that there are more acting opportunities for women her age in her own home country. In 2023, she appeared in the Hallmark movie Love's Greek to Me. Michael Dorn portrays the iconic Klingon Worf, and quickly became one of the most popular characters in the entire Star Trek franchise. Worf moved to a starring role in Star Trek Deep Space Nine after the conclusion of Next Generation, and has appeared in more Trek episodes than any other actor. Dorn isn't only known for his Trek achievements, though, as he's often recognized for his voice alone.
That is how the Klingon lures a mate.
With the power of his voice, he's crossed over into other comic-based pop culture franchises like Superman the Animated Series, where he provides the voice of the heavy-hitting superhero Steel and the brave and the bold as Batman villain Bane. In 2023, Dorn received the opportunity to head back to Metropolis as he penned the Steel comic arc Steelworks. It turned out to be an important writing gig for him, which was something Dorn was delighted about after having tried to make it happen for a long time. As he told Polygon, "I've written maybe 4 or 5 screenplays and people liked my writing, but nothing's come to fruition. The big thing about Steelworks is I'm a paid writer." LeVar Burton brings Geordi LaForge to life in Star Trek The Next Generation, but he's also renowned for his other impressive creative achievements. As a host and executive producer of the educational children's show Reading Rainbow, he and his team secured numerous award nominations and wins, including 26 Daytime Emmys. He also had a podcast from 2017 to 2024 called LeVar Burton Reads, in which he would read short stories and discuss the tales with his audience in an effort to encourage people to read more. On TV, he often appears as fictionalized versions of himself on shows like Tim and Eric Awesome Show.
I'm the ghost of LeVar Burton.
And Community.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton.
He also briefly hosted Jeopardy! Burton joined the board of the AIDS Research Alliance in 2012 and was one of the first inductees on the Sacramento Walk of Stars in 2016. In 2019, a park was renamed in his honor, and in 2023, Burton won an award for his ongoing public service. Gates McFadden stars as Dr. Beverly Crusher, but during the first season of the series, McFadden didn't see eye to eye with showrunner Maurice Hurley, which culminated in her character being replaced for the second season. Dr. Crusher returned from season 3 onward and never looked back.
I did fall asleep reading a particularly erotic chapter in my grandmother's journal.
She also enjoyed a successful stage and television career, appearing in series like Mad About You, Franklin and Bash, and The Practice. She's also given back to the acting community, teaching at Harvard, the University of Pittsburgh, and Brooklyn College. In more recent times, she lent her voice to animated shows like Masters of the Universe Revolution and X-Men '97. She's also a professional choreographer and has worked on classic films like Labyrinth, where she uses the name Cheryl instead of Gates. In 2021, she launched the podcast Gates McFadden Investigates, Who Do You Think You Are?, where she interviewed Next Generation co-stars and a variety of other Trek actors. And as part of the cast of The Next Generation, McFadden and her co-stars received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2024 Saturn Awards. Wil Wheaton starred as the polarizing teenager Wesley Crusher.
But shut up, Wesley.
At the time of his casting, fans probably recognized Wheaton from his performance in Stand By Me. As Next Generation progressed, Wesley's appearances became sporadic as Wheaton continued his ascension as a young actor. Even so, the actor didn't forget about the character and returned to play Wesley multiple times.
But shut up, Wesley.
Wheaton's acting career saw him star in films like Toy Soldiers and Flubber, while also featuring in television shows such as The Big Bang Theory and Eureka. He's also received opportunities in the animated world, as characters like Aqualad in Teen Titans and Dr. Peter Meacham in Generator Rex. Apart from his acting career, Wheaton is also a writer, having started his own blog, written a few books, and contributed articles to publications like LA Weekly and The Washington Post. Wheaton also opened up to his fans to write about the mental health issues which he has experienced throughout his life.
Anyway, let's move on to somebody even more important. Perhaps the most important person in Starfleet history, Chief Miles O'Brien.
Trek fans remember Colm Meaney's Chief Miles O'Brien from both Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. While he might be more associated with the latter, he's still featured in 52 episodes of the former. Meaney continued to have a career that would make any actor jealous, starring in movies like Con Air and Tolkien, while featuring in series like Hell on Wheels and Stargate Atlantis. The highly prolific and recognizable Irish actor prefers to live life out of the limelight, though, as he left America to move to the island of Majorca with his wife and children in the 2000s. In August 2024, the Sci-Fi and Fantasy Gazette asked him if he would welcome the opportunity to reprise the role of Chief O'Brien. Meaney joked about not being able to fit into the suit anymore before adding, "Do you want to see an elderly Miles O'Brien? I don't know. It's certainly not at the top of my agenda of things I'd like to do at the moment." In the first season of Next Generation, Denise Crosby stars as security chief Tasha Yar, but the character is killed before the season ends, in the episode titled Skin of Evil. In Season 3, Yar returns as a still-alive Yar from a different timeline, and again later as Yar's half-Romulan daughter Sela. Speaking to IGN in April 2024, Crosby explained how she originally left the show because of creative frustrations regarding her character, saying, "It's such an incredible opportunity. You have so much here, but I'm not going to just be the token hot blonde on the show," but they had a 60s mentality. After Star Trek, Crosby continued her acting career, appearing in the classic Stephen King film Pet Sematary and everything from Suits to The Walking Dead. She's remained close to the Star Trek fanbase, however, as she often appears at the Star Trek The Cruise event and other fan conventions. She's also acted as a producer on the Trekkies documentary films. For Star Trek fans, Majel Barrett remains royalty, and one of the most important people to have ever contributed to this universe. Not only was she the wife of the creator of the franchise, Gene Roddenberry, but she also played a number of pivotal characters across different productions. She made numerous appearances as the obnoxious but complex mother of Deanna Troi, Lwaxana, and during the first season of Next Generation, she became the voice of the Federation starship's computer in most episodes.
Computer? Is Commander Riker still on the bridge?
Negative. Riker is currently in Holodeck 3.
Barrett's also appeared in popular sci-fi shows like Babylon 5 and Earth Final Conflict, while also voicing Anna Watson in Spider-Man the Animated Series. One of Barrett's final roles was the voice of the starship's computer in J.J. Abrams' alternate universe Star Trek film. In December 2008, Barrett died from leukemia. She was 76 years old. Several of her Star Trek co-stars attended her funeral to pay their last respects to her. John de Lancie only appeared in 8 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, but as the mischievous character Q, he bookends the series as a vital part to both the premiere and the finale. It's also a role he reprises in Deep Space Nine, Picard, and Lower Decks.
Get out of here, Q! No, we are done with random stuff today. We're not dealing with any of your Q bullshit.
And in Voyager, he's joined by his real-life son Keegan. While the actor appears in films like Gamer and Crank High Voltage, he's found most of his success on television, securing roles in Charmed, Breaking Bad, and Stargate SG-1. He's lent his voice to Batman the Animated Series, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, and My Little Pony, while gamers should recognize him as the voice of William Miles in various Assassin's Creed titles. De Lancie also co-wrote a novel about a Star Trek character, as well as a DC Comics story, and recorded 2 audio dramas in which his character debates Leonard Nimoy's Spock. He also co-produced the documentary Bronies. The actor has also become known as a secular activist, disclosing that he started questioning religion from the age of 6. As he told Skeptical Inquirer, "I was asked not to come back to Sunday school. Mostly I felt very manipulated by some of the religious people I came into contact with." That being said, de Lancie said people should be free to choose what they believe in for their own reasons, encouraging critical thinking. Comfort is one thing, proof is another. I would never take away the comfort that a religious belief might afford.